Alright, we're going to install the rest of the transmission. First thing that's going to happen is there's two fork gears. This is your second and third fork gear. You can notice that this fork is lower than this one. You can see the notches here on each one of these, and what happens is this cylinder goes inside this spring, and there's a ball bearing on each side which engages these three notches depending on what gear that you put it into. First thing that happens is I'm going to take this spring stop cylinder and push it inside the spring. I'm going to lay that on the side here. And I'm going to take the two ball bearings and lay them out of the way for the moment. And this is your second and third, this is your first and reverse. Okay, so here's what's going to happen. I'm going to take the second and third gear and this fork gear, which is the smaller one. This is your second and third. This is your first and reverse. Okay? It's a lot larger. Here's what's different about the 6-speeds is you have to take, and the fork faces up and the other one is going to face down, so the forks face each other. I'm going to slide it over the input shaft, and I'm going to slide this down into this hole here. Alright. Notice these notches. Let me take this back out a second. When you look down in your transmission, you're going to see this. This is neutral if you got them lined up. And your shifter fork, the ball, let's see if I can grab this without. The shifter fork ball goes in here, and when you push forward, second and third, you're going to grab this part and push this either up or down a notch. And if you go back up into first or reverse, you're going to grab this fork and push this up or down a notch. So it's imperative that these two line up when you put the shifter fork in. Okay? Alright, I want the lower one because that's the one that goes in here. And I want that second and third fork gear with the notch up to slide over and come down into this hole here. All right. Now there's a 1/4 inch hole. I don't know if you can see this or not, but there's a 1/4 inch hole that comes in from the front of the transmission, and it goes all the way through this hole into this, and this is where the spring and the two detent balls sit, and into this one. And the ball sits here and here with the spring in between, and when you shift, that's basically what holds the transmission gear in place. Alright, so let's try it. Hopefully I don't struggle like I did in the other one. I'm going to put that in there like that. And then I'm going to take one of the detent balls, take a little finger full of grease, see if I can hold the detent ball or not. I don't know. Might need the magnet. Gonna need the magnet. Got a pencil magnet here. And I'm going to hold that down in front of the hole, hopefully. It's hard with a magnet, but I'm going to get there. Come on. And I'm going to push that ball into the hole. The next thing is going to happen is I'm going to take that spring with the cylinder inside of it and push that in through the hole all the way through. Third thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the second ball here. I'm going to try a little grease again. Maybe that'll work for me this time. I don't know. Because the magnet's kind of tough. Everything's going to be tough. And I'm going to hold that down in front of the spring. And come in and I want to lift that up a notch so that I get it into a thing here. Alright, by lifting this up a notch, the ball goes into a notch and gives me the spot to take and put this other fork gear in. Oops. Fork down. Put that in here. And put that into this hole. And hopefully I could slide this by. And there we go. We got it. Alright, I'm going to have to take this phone call. God dang it. Maybe. The notches are matched up here, so I'm in neutral. And I want to make sure that I'm in neutral. So if I gently pry up, I should be able to feel that. And that's in the bottom gear. That's going to be either second or third. It's going to be third actually. That's neutral. and that's going to be second. Okay. I want to make sure that I got the ball in there. Okay, that's good. Okay, we're good here. Come on, sweetheart. I want to line this up into neutral again. Come on. Alright, I'm in neutral now. The next thing that happens is I'm going to take my spline gear. It's got the pinion installed on this, which is different from the 5025s. And I'm going to slide it down through till it fits on top of and there's a little bearing thing on here, no problem, and that sets that. Alright, at this point I want to lift this fork up into second gear, which gives me room to take and slide the cluster gear in. So I'm going to take the cluster gear shaft. Doesn't make any difference which end you put in. And there's a key here. And then it takes this pinion and slides that on there. And then I'm going to take my cluster gear, which goes like this, large side down. It slides on this. And here's where you got to be careful. You got to hold this pinion on this gear, so, or the Woodruff key, so that you don't lose it. And what you want to do is slide that sucker in. Well, before I do that, hang on. We're going to put the 1144 tooth gear in here. Alright, so then I'm going to take this and that thing's going to seat right down. Okay, and everything turns nice. Everything's in there. At this point, I'm going to take my reverse idler. There's a shaft here that goes in this hole back here. Make sure it's down all the way. And then the reverse idler, it's got a shafting on here. And this is like indented. This collar goes down and it should fit between the gears and everything turns good. Now it's just a matter of, there's another keyway right here. I'm going to put this in here. And I got a reduction gear. Notice there's no splines, it's just got a keyway. And I might just want to tap that just a little bit. And I like to have it facing forward on the top a touch. This gear doesn't make any difference which way you put it. There you go. And it should be level. This should be level. Everything